For 40 years, Tom Cruise has been Hollywood's golden boy. The smile, the stunts, the endless applause, all built a perfect image. But here's what they don't show in movie montages. 10 celebrities tried to pull off the mask. And what they saw underneath wasn't a hero. It was control. Tom Cruise is one of the most successful stars ever. He's also one of the most controlling. Ask his ex-wives. Ask his co-stars. Ask the ones who dared to say no and paid the price. These aren't rivals or bitter exes. They're people who worked with him, lived near him, and walked away changed. They all warned the same thing. Don't trust the smile. Today we're counting down the top 10 who tried to warn us. Some spoke quietly, some screamed, but every one of them saw a man who wears charm like armor and control like a religion. At number 10, the story begins with Alec Baldwin on a glittering stage. It's 2009. He's hosting Elle magazine's Women in Hollywood dinner. He steps up to the microphone, smiling, full of charm. Then comes the punchline. "I think we can close the pay gap," he says, "if Tom Cruise cuts his fee by $29 million. The crowd laughs. Even Katie Holmes, Tom's wife, laughs. But jokes that sting often hide truth. Tom's Top Gun Maverick deal later earned him over $100 million, one of the biggest paydays in Hollywood. Alec wasn't mocking, he was exposing ego. And Tom Cruise, ever the professional, simply smiled because the mask never slips in public. But the next crack didn't come from a comedian, it came from a soldier. At number 9, Mark Wahlberg brings the tension to the surface. It's 2013. Leaked court papers claim Tom Cruise once said working on a movie set was as tough as fighting in Afghanistan. The internet explodes, and Mark Wahlberg, promoting his film Lone Survivor, doesn't stay silent. He steps to the mic, his voice shaking with anger. "For actors to compare themselves to soldiers. How dare you?" he says. While they sit in a makeup chair, real men are fighting for their lives. He never says Tom's name, but everyone knows. Tom's lawyers move fast, claiming he supports the troops. Still, the crack is visible. Because when your power is built on control, even a hint of ego can start the collapse. The next warning came from inside the set, and it left scars. At number 8, Brad Pitt steps into the story. It's 1994. Interview with the Vampire. Two of Hollywood's biggest stars. A dark masterpiece filled with glory and ego. Behind the scenes, Brad Pitt was miserable, not because of the role, but because of Tom Cruise. "He bugged me," Brad said later. "There came a point where I started resenting him. He's North Pole, I'm South. He's always coming at you with a handshake. I might just nod." There was this competition that ruined any real connection. Tom's smile as mask met Brad's quiet authenticity, and the clash was inevitable. Fast forward to 2009. Brad's Inglourious Basterds earns praise. Tom's Valkyrie is mocked. Brad allegedly calls it a ridiculous movie. Decades later, the resentment still burns, but rivalry fades next to fear. And that's what the next warning reveals. At number 7, Thandie Newton steps into Mission Impossible 2. It's 2000. She lands the female lead, a dream role beside Tom Cruise. At first, she's excited. Then she meets Tom. "I was so scared of him," she said later. "He was very dominant. He tries to be nice, but he was really stressed." She remembers a balcony scene that spiraled into terror. "Tom got so frustrated with me that I felt insecure and trapped." Then came the real control move. Tom decided his character wouldn't speak English without telling her. Very helpful to him. Extremely unhelpful to the rest of us. Thandie was never asked back. Was it coincidence or consequence? Either way, the message was clear. Serve the vision or disappear. The next warning came from an ex-wife, and it shook the industry. At number 6, Mickey Rourke doesn't whisper. He fires. It's 2022. Piers Morgan asks him about Tom Cruise after Top Gun. Maverick hits $1 billion. Mickey doesn't blink. "Doesn't mean jack to me," he says. "He's been doing the same part for 35 years. I got no respect for that." But this clash started long before. The next woman lived inside the empire and barely made it out. At number 5, Brooke Shields becomes Tom's most unexpected critic. It's 2005. She releases a memoir about her fight with postpartum depression. She credits antidepressants for saving her life. Then Tom Cruise, a proud Scientologist, attacks her publicly. He calls psychiatry unscientific. When someone says medication helped them, he says, it didn't cure anything. There is no science. Then he adds, I care about Brooke. But look at where her career has gone. At number 4, Leah Remini takes the mask off from the inside. It's 2015. She releases Troublemaker, Surviving Hollywood and Scientology. And Tom Cruise gets his own chapter. She writes about being invited to his mansion. Tom shouts, we're playing hide and seek. Adults run and hide, because Tom said so. Later he yells about missing cookie dough. Where's the cookie stuff? Leah calls him a child who'd never been told no. But here's the truth, he's not a child. He's one of the most powerful men in Scientology. No one tells him no. Not friends, not staff, not the church. Years later, she tweets, don't let the movie star charm fool you. She's not forgiving. She's warning. The next woman didn't just warn. She had to escape. At number 3, Nicole Kidman steps into the story. It's 1990. Tom Cruise leaves Mimi Rogers and marries Nicole less than a year later. They adopt 2 children, make movies, and become Hollywood's golden couple. But behind the smile, Nicole was disappearing. I was so young, she later said. I felt isolated. Even when I won my Oscar, I was the loneliest I'd ever been. When they divorced in 2001, Tom got full custody. The kids were raised as Scientologists. Reports say Nicole's children grew distant, even estranged. Because in that world, leaving makes you a suppressive person. There's a photo of Nicole jumping for joy outside her lawyer's office. People called it celebration, but it was freedom. The next woman escaped too, only faster. At number 2, Katie Holmes pulls off Hollywood's quietest escape. It's 2012. She files for divorce from Tom Cruise, shocking the world. But this wasn't sudden. It was planned for months, in secret, like a spy. She hired 3 law firms in 3 states, filing in New York to stay beyond Scientology's reach. She wins sole custody of Suri, banning Scientology contact. Reports say Tom hasn't seen Suri in years. The mask didn't slip. It became the man. Finally, at number 1, John Travolta faces Tom Cruise's crown. It's 2008. Tom gets Scientology's highest medal, the Freedom Medal of Valor. John feels betrayed, replaced, and silenced. Because Tom's mask wasn't just a persona, it was a throne, and no one else could sit on it. These 10 celebrities didn't warn us about a difficult actor. They warned us about a man who turned control into religion. For 40 years, he's worn the smile as armor, the mask as truth. The real danger? We loved the performance and ignored the person. Tom Cruise is still smiling, still flying, still in control. But every warning said the same thing. The mask never comes off. Subscribe for more hidden truths and comment what you believe lies behind the smile.